buddies, and welcome into the Playmakers Blueprint. I'm your girl, Khera Goss, and this is the podcast where we get to focus on crafting champions and shaping leaders. So let's get right into it with one of my absolute favorite little sisters of all time, Khera Goss. Okay. Indiana All-Star in 2020. I'm so sorry you didn't get to actually participate in the game. That's okay. That sucks. But okay. It's up there. It's on the wall. It's all good. Okay.
That's the Junior All-Star.
Hello? Okay, so Indiana All-Star. Okay. Two-time All-MAC defensive team. All-MAC tournament team. Won an NCAA tournament game. What year was that?
2023.
2023. Member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated.
Hello.
Also held and hosted an event called Black Girls Rock with a Z, where they awarded 4 girls scholarships. And you are the youngest of 4 amazing, incredible, perfect Ghost kids. So, welcome in, Khera Goss. How you feeling, sis?
I'm really excited to be here. I'm excited for some good conversation.
I do actually.
Orange, hello.
Sorry, Holly. Okay, so first we're gonna go ahead and just do a quick little 24-second shot clock. Okay.
Yep.
Rapid fire questions. I know you have seen most, if not all, the episodes. So you see, sometimes people can take their time. So we can wrap them up. Okay.
Fast.
Ready and go. All right. What's your favorite way to spend the weekend?
Watching movies.
Oh, I love that. Do you have a favorite book or movie?
Oh, Freedom Riders movie.
Okay. That's a good one. What's something you're passionate about?
Oh, helping the Black community.
Love that. If you could travel anywhere right now, where would you go?
Right now, I would go back to the DR.
And do you have any hobbies or activities you love doing in your free time other than watching movies?
Skating.
I love that. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I love to open that up mainly because people get to kind of know who you are and what you're about. Okay. Really breaking the ice. Now, the topic of today's podcast episode is work ethic. Work ethic. And I know you clearly need a hard work ethic. You can't go out there and be lazy, but what does work ethic mean to you, KK?
I would say, off the top of my head, doing things even when you don't want to, I think is what helped cultivates a really good work ethic.
Yeah. Is that something that you felt like you had to learn over time? Do you feel like you got that right off the bat? What was your thing?
I think I had to learn it over time. I think I still learned it at an early age, but it did take me a minute.
How about that? And you had us to watch behind. Did we have any play into your...
Just kidding. Yes, watching you guys definitely helped. I remember just going to extra training sessions with you guys. I remember you guys leaving to go get some extra shots up. So that definitely helped. Yes. I already knew what to expect. I knew what it took to become a great athlete.
There you go. Shout out to us. Okay.
Y'all are
how about you start by telling us a little bit of like how you guys started with basketball, what that looked like for you, where you're at now with it. What's up?
I just want to put on the record, I was forced to play. I didn't want to play. I had no interest. I wanted to be a cheerleader. And mom and dad said no.
No, you're lying.
I'm so serious.
I did not know that.
I did not want to play.
Why?
I don't remember at the time. I just remember I didn't want to play. And I would do cartwheels down the court. I played on, I think I was on Harrison's team. I'm pretty sure I would do cartwheels down the court. I would run away from the ball if it was passed to me. I wanted no parts of that. It wasn't until kindergarten I started liking it a little bit because that was when I was 3, so I was young.
Oh,
yes.
You started when you were 3.
I did at the Gardens, and then I went to Thatcher in kindergarten, and I liked that a little more. I was like, okay, I'm starting to get the hang of it. But it really wasn't until like 4th or 5th grade when I was like, oh, I actually kind of like this for real.
And you were good. So 4th, 5th grade, you start liking it. Who was coach? Was that your coach at that point? Yeah. He was good.
Yeah.
Okay, and then so what did middle school look like for you in basketball?
Middle school was fun. Yes, because of the basketball part, because of my teammates too, though. Like, I was with all my close friends. It was like Amaya, Snotry, Jamia. Like, that's when I met all of them. That's when we started playing together. that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then AU, I was playing with a lot of good players. And that's when Coach Stevens was my coach.
Okay.
Who's at Purdue now.
Yes.
So, yes.
Yeah. Shout out Coach Stevens. Shout out to all the friends that played. I'm sure they all be watching because they support you.
Hello.
And me. So then you went on to high school. What did that look like for you?
It was a roller coaster. It was definitely up and down. I had a lot of confidence issues, and that I had to unpack and really had to work through that. But overall, it was okay. Our team was like pretty good. We competed at a high level. I felt like we never won a championship. The only Goss to not win a state championship, but it's okay.
You would have had the 2020 season and went to at least track.
Oh, I think I would have too. Yeah.
I would. I think you would.
At least in high jump, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then so that was good. I finished up there. COVID, obviously, I didn't get to graduate, but I didn't get to walk.
Right.
But yeah, that's kind of how that.
I love that. So you said confidence issues. I know this isn't really the episode, but what confidence battles did you feel like you were having at that time?
Now that I look back, I didn't believe in myself. I feel like because I was trying to compare too much to other people. I think I was trying too hard. Yes, you guys were a good role model, but I was like, oh my gosh, I have to be good. My sisters were good. And I feel like I was never reaching the goal or not the goal, like the level I was supposed to be. I never felt like I was enough. And so it really messed with me for a while, all throughout high school.
So were you feeling like you were getting compared to us or?
Yeah, and I think it's kind of like, how do you not do it? Like, when we all look alike. But too, like, you see a God's name and it's like, oh, like she must be good. And so I don't blame people for it. Like, it was something I just grew through, really.
Yeah. What were some of the things that you did to like kind of help you navigate through that, or was that just like a later time thing?
It did end up later in time. Well, not actually that much later. So when COVID happened and we had all that free time, I really got to grow my relationship with the Lord, and that helped tremendously. And I really just found out that my identity isn't in basketball, which is something that I could go on and on about. But my identity is in Christ, and that helped me a lot.
It's one of those things where it's like, go out there, you're going to work really hard. Whatever happens, happens.
Whatever happens,
happens. Sometimes you get to win, sometimes you get to lose. But the extra pressure that you put on yourself or people put on you, it's subjective.
Yeah, very.
Well, I love that. So, okay, and that's actually really interesting to know. And so I'm almost 10 years older than KK. And so I remember your childhood and things, but like we really weren't there. We really just were not there because we were always traveling with basketball or we were having like a significant time just not away from the home, but like we were just in two different
eras.
Literally generations, okay?
Right. Quite literally.
And so I don't really remember you struggling like that outwardly. Do you feel like you were masking those emotions?
Yeah, that's something I'm actually working through like right now. Like looking back, like I definitely was, but I also feel like you could see it on the court. I was very timid. Like I wouldn't shoot, for instance. I wouldn't take risk on the court and stuff like that. Sometimes a lot of people were always telling me I need to shoot more, if that paints any type of picture. But yeah, I would mask it a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry that I wasn't there to help you.
You was there.
I wasn't there.
But like, you was like, but you went to college when I was in third grade. And D went to college when I was in first grade. Like, times is different.
That's crazy. That is crazy. So I was playing a lot of overseas, like during your high school career and things like that. Yeah.
So now when he's gone, across the water. Yeah.
I can relate a little bit to the comparison of things, and I mean, going to school with D was a different. I don't want to say it's harder, but it's a different type of battle because D had already set the standard.
Right.
And so playing behind someone who, all rip was already putting her stamp in it, it was kind of like,
I got no choice but to come out.
Right. I was right. And I got compared in, again, maybe not in a malicious way, but I wasn't Bria.
Yeah.
I was the other golf sister or Dear's little sister.
Yeah.
And so in the best ways possible, that frustrated me. That frustrated me. I wanted to have my own name. I wanted to go out there and do my own thing. And so I think that added fuel to the fire.
Yeah.
Because I think I did start taking those risks. And I did start, like, not playing outside my means.
Yeah.
But it was like, all right, how can I,
Yeah.
break free of this? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. That's so
Because,
real.
and again, love Coach Branch, love Coach D, but it was something kind of like inkling, like, D would have made that mistake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, that's not a
right.
It's not a bad thing. I think they use it to motivate. I think I was very close with those coaches too, so I could see it, which makes a huge difference. I can't have a coach that I don't have a relationship with. Now he on my face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever.
That's
not gonna be the same.
Yeah.
But I know that they could use that. They know that they could use that to kind of like fuel the fire.
Yes.
And so I went, but it was a hard.
That's interesting.
It was a hard.
No, that's interesting because you think about that and what that does to you, like subconsciously, like. For me, what that did when I was known as like the little goth and stuff like that, like that made me attach my identity to the sport even more because I was like, oh, like, well, this is who I am. I'm Khera, the basketball player, Khera, the youngest goth since, whatever. And I didn't know until later how much damage that actually did for me. Because in the moment, I mean, you're just playing. You're just
right.
Yeah.
Right.
What about it? But now, like, I realize, like, oh no, like that was rough.
Yeah. Well, and then you got a full ride scholarship to the University of Toledo.
What? Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay. So we're doing it. Yeah. So tell us about your experience there.
Love Toledo down. Okay. I don't know. I learned a lot more about basketball, a lot more about myself while playing at Toledo. I loved my coaches. I love my teammates. I love everything about my experience, even the ups and the downs. Everything. I feel like I was really God's plan, like strategically placed. You
want to talk about some of those ups and downs?
Oh well, I mean, you want me to get more? I thought
you want to elaborate a little bit.
Yes. So kind of same issue when I first got into college. Like obviously, like I was still working through my confidence issues. But I felt like I had branched off from being the youngest goth sister. That's one of the big reasons why I didn't want to go to a school where you guys went to because I didn't want that label still attached to me. But I want to say freshman year was weird because of COVID. So not having people in the stands, like we were getting tested right before practice. Like it was this whole thing. Like that was a weird experience. Like
especially that being the first year.
Yeah. Like I remember it. Don't get me wrong. I was like, I don't really count for it. Sophomore year. There you go. Is when we really started. So I actually ended up staying over the summer, freshman and sophomore year, to work on my shot because I really struggled with that. And I remember I was really in my head about it because I felt like I was hurting my team if I wasn't able to shoot. Because if you're not shooting, like they're backed off you, they're clogging the paint. Like so that caused a lot of I was like, I'm letting my team down. That's what I feel like. So I stayed up all summer. I stayed with my coach, and she helped me out. Beginning of sophomore year, it was like a little rough with my shooting, but then that second half when we got in a conference on my sophomore year, that's when I feel like basketball started to become mindless. Like I was just playing, like it felt free. I was having fun again. Like we were doing good, and that really carried me through all the way through my fifth year. Yeah, we got a fifth year because of COVID. So in that time, we won 3 regular season championships. Okay. We made it to the tournament once. We won the tournament championship one time. Wow. Those other 2 they got away from us. Yeah. But they made us better though. Yeah. We lost that because we lost my sophomore year. That next season we were we're on a mission. And that junior year we fulfilled it. Got away from us my senior year, and then we had a coaching change. We actually lost 2 of our best players for my 5th year. Yeah.
From graduating.
Yeah, from graduating. That was a lot. That was hard. That was different. I really liked my coach. And so I was left with a lot of emotions that I didn't really know what to do with. I was like, okay, do I transfer? Do I stay? Stick it out? But one thing that helped me stick it out was my teammates. We all decided, like, you know what? If we're gonna do something new, we might as well do it together. Right. So this past year, that felt like it had a whole bunch of lessons within itself. Yeah. But one thing I can definitely say is that I had to apply everything that I've learned from my other 4 years and actually put it to the test. Like, it's one thing to say, like, oh yeah, I've learned that, but it's another thing to actually go out there and do it.
Right. What were some of those lessons that you had to apply?
Staying confident, even when you don't feel like it. Learning a new system, obviously, is like hard for anybody. But like
adjustment period.
Yes, but as like a leader, it's like, okay, I'm supposed to learn this new system. And also directing the freshmen that are coming in. I didn't know I was going to do that at all. I was like, this
Mhm.
is rough.
Right.
I feel like we played a completely different game, in my opinion. And I would say that, staying confident even when you didn't feel like it. And knowing that everything's going to be okay in the end. That's one thing I learned over like my past 4 years, but really had to apply it this 5th year.
Right.
And just keep staying the course and just keep trusting God.
Love that. You gotta do that. So now it brings us to the end of the career here, correct?
That is correct.
That is done. So you can tell us about your master's program. So you did one graduate year with the team, but now you have what, 2 more years to?
Yes.
Okay.
I have 2 more years to get my what's called educational specialist degree. So I'll technically have my master's in May.
Okay.
Yes. But then it's a 3-year program, school psychology.
Okay.
I love school psychology. I love what it brings. I love how I'm able to help children. My mentor actually got me into it. Not my supervisor. It's a pretty hard program.
Yeah.
It's very a lot of hours that go into it. But I will say how I felt like in the beginning of my years playing basketball, like just eager to like get better and like I'm like, oh my gosh, that's how I feel with my school psychology.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I'm eager to learn. Like I want to know what to do in like every single situation. You know, it's just learning something new is like bringing a new fire.
Right. Right. Oh, I love that. Can't wait to see. You gonna open up your own practice, or you want to go to like a school counselor?
No, I'll be school psychologists. Like they're mostly in the schools. I think you can open up a private practice, but I don't know if I want to do that.
Right.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
I love that. Well, now we got the run through. It only took 30 minutes. So, and again, so we're talking about work ethic, okay? And you clearly need to have a tunnel vision focused on your work ethic because it needs to be consistent, it needs to be disciplined, it to be hard. Okay, so let's talk about hard work. Give us an example of when you went through a practice or a game where you had to work hard, even if you didn't want to, but you knew that working hard skill that you have now learned. How have you been able to implement that into your game? Is there a situation where you did that?
Can I point it more towards like a time period? So like end of the seasons, like obviously you're physically fatigued, you're mentally fatigued, and you're really just vibing out there sometimes. That takes a different type of work ethic to be able, especially if you're playing deep into tournament runs and stuff like that. Like you have to have that mindset. Like, okay, I know my body feels like this. Right. I'm mentally exhausted, but I have to do this anyway. Right. So coming to practice and still giving your all, even if your all that day is not 100%, even if it's 80%, you give that full 80%. I would say that is why I play. Yeah. And how important is that? Very. Because I feel like when you get into your career or, life in general, like things are going to happen. But you still have to pay your bills. Yeah. You still have to get stuff done. Yeah. Like life does not stop even though you're feeling some type of way. And baby still got to get fed. And so and I guess that's the whole reason for the podcast too. Like I think so much you talk about that identity being what basketball is. Like, no, we're so much more than the sports that we play. So much more. And I know people think that I'm a great person and I have all these great qualities, but it's like I learned a lot from my sport. A lot. And I'm going to take what I learned to implement that into just your everyday, whether you're a student, what's your career, your workplace, who you are as a, father, sister, brother, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife. So, husband, wife. Okay, I have to throw that in there. Let's pick it. Hello. Okay. So that end of the year spell, I can definitely relate to that too. Not only because of basketball or college basketball, but overseas. You get to a point in the season where it's like, I'm just ready to see family. Okay. I'm just ready to be around American food. Yeah. Yeah. And just regular Walmart and like all of that is so heavily missed. I want to be able to wash my clothes and dry my clothes in the dryer. Yeah. Like I want to hang it up. What? So I know, like, having to, like, kind of push through that doesn't always look like a straight line, Has there been times where, like, you've fallen short where you're like, didn't work hard, didn't do that? Yeah. I feel like yes. And then I've taken those shortcomings and those lessons, and I'm like, okay, like, that can't happen again. Yeah. And then the next time you're given the opportunity, let's take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you don't dwell on it.
No. I think I used to.
I think that's because they told us to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You were supposed to like eat, sleep, and breathe the sport that you play. In order to get the best, that's what you have to do.
Yes.
And that may work for some people.
Not for them.
It just doesn't have to work for everybody. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like in order for me to be sane, I needed hobbies outside of basketball. Yeah. I needed to get into other stuff outside of basketball. Because if I was just basketball, I wouldn't have survived 5 years. And some people literally can excel on that and be fine. I love that. For them. But for me, that ain't it. That is not it. Okay. So in this, hard work, especially in the times where you don't want to work hard. There's times where you do want to work hard. You go out there and execute. I'm guessing. Yeah. Let's look at it from just the resilient side of things. Do you feel like that hard work kind of developed that resilience and what you could do and who you could be? Yes, I do. I think it sparked discipline. It taught me discipline, what real discipline looks like, because that's not an easy task at all. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Discuss how being a part of a team and a successful team, okay, has helped you develop a strong work ethic. Ooh. You want to do it for your teammates because you love them. Yeah. Like how I was saying earlier, like I wanted to be able to shoot so that I didn't clog the paint for my team, so we could successfully be good on offense. So you see how hard others are working. You're like, wow, like they're giving it all out for me. Like, let me do the same for them. Like, that's the least I could do. Right. I feel like the least you could do is go out there and give your all every single day if you really love the people that you're around. Mm-hmm. Was there people that pushed you in that sense? So, especially like when you were young and you were a freshman and things, or players that are bigger, stronger, faster. Yeah. Did you feel like they had a hand in pushing you to be better? Oh yeah, for sure. And did you take that constructive criticism well? Did I? Yes, I did. I remember as a freshman and like my seniors, like I don't even know how to explain it, but they showed by example, but like their leadership voice, like they would like tell us like right then and there, which I feel like that's different going from high school to college. Like, unless like some high school teams, are a little more vocal, but like, as far as what you guys aren't vocal, no, not that much. So when I got to college and that's how it was, and they were just telling me the real, it's like, oh, okay. So yeah, I definitely got to learn and how to work hard in a different way too. Like college, working hard, it shouldn't be different, but it's a different grind. I feel that's a fact. It's a different grind. It is a different type of grind, like it's a longer grind. Yes, you have to be in that. Like you have to be like mentally, physically, like all of it. Like mental grind. Yeah. Yes. So I would definitely say that. Yeah. Which again, I mean, when you think about like your hard work, off the court, it looks different. However, the skill is rooted. Yes. Now, what does that look like in whatever season that you're in? I like that. Okay, are you dropping gems? No. Are you dropping gems? I just put the seed in, then you grow it a little bit, and water it, pack it with the soil. Goodbye. How did team dynamics and accountability contribute to your growth? I would say you couldn't. Okay, I don't know how to say this, but I'm gonna try it here. Like you couldn't not work hard. Like that was not an option. Like one, because the people who we all were, like it was kind of like, okay, that's just kind of in us. Right. But like you would just look at our team and you just be like, wow. Like this is a beautiful basketball. Like I want to go out there for each other, right? And when I was the want to, like kind of like I was saying, we wanted to be there, right? And to do it for each other. Like when we're in the summer times, even by ourselves, we're like, okay, how can I help such and such on defense? So you got to do as much on offense, right? Like that type of thing. Like that's how deep our connection went. Right. I feel like on our team. And that's so important because you don't have that. If you don't have people in the locker room that you would literally run through a wall for. It's gonna be a very hard season. It's gonna be very hard. It's gonna be because you just don't care, right? You just don't care. I don't. It's like if I don't care if the person next to me works hard, or if I don't care if the person next to me thinks I work hard or not. Like that creates a sense of drama in the locker room, and it's like, well, I can just shut down. I can just get through and not get better. There's no growth, and there's no win. There's no success, and so that's important, Kika. When you guys won your NCAA game, who was it against? Iowa State.
Iowa State.
Was.
Well, that was before what's the girl that's at Iowa State now?
Audie Cooks, yeah.
Yeah,
It was before it. Yeah, what? We would have been like,
hello,
no, I'm just kidding.
Cooks,
Okay.
and she's really good. But yeah, so what did it take for you guys in order to win that game?
Ooh.
I know it wasn't solely just all hard work and work ethic, but
No.
I'm pretty sure that led up to success because you guys had to be in that position and you had to work hard in order to be that position.
Yeah.
But like, what was that thing that got you guys over the hump to get that NCAA win?
One, I would say over the course of like, because you got we had our MAC tournament and then we went straight into that. It was different people stepping up.
Good.
Like it wasn't just, granted, yes, we had our players who were gonna do what they do every game.
Right.
But it was also like people stepping up and confusing the defense, like not knowing like, okay, who should we actually go out on? Because I remember Jada Jansen, shout out to her, she played really, really well over that stretch of that tournament. And it was just like, we don't even know who to stop right now, I would say that, and then kind of going back to like the mental game, like outsmarting our opponents. Like we obviously weren't going as a mid-major, we're not going to be the biggest, we're not going to be the fastest, no, but like being able to shoot the ball and being able to run our offense, like, tire the defense out, and like pick on defenders, there's different things like that. I think that contributed a lot to our success that year.
It does. I love that for you guys. All right, let's transition over to the hard work ethic to your everyday life. Okay. So you are finishing up your semester. Take us a little bit, like, what does your everyday schedule look like, just as a college athlete or ex-college athlete?
The week and a half that I've been there. Well, it hasn't been that long. I think every day since the season ended, I've done something different in my day.
So there is no schedule. Okay, got it.
But wait. I'm learning that like I can.
I'm serious. Girl went up on 2 legs. Okay, I'm sorry.
On 2 legs.
So sorry.
I'm learning like I can fill my day with whatever I want to. Like my day is how I put it. And so this is why I really like basketball, and I can even attest being in a sorority because I had to plan out my days because there were so many things I had to do. I really learned that, and so now I feel like I'm a lot better at time management when I have nothing to do.
Oh yes.
Whereas like something it's common like you have so much to do you have to no I have nothing.
Right.
Well, I have class on Mondays. Right. My internship, but like nothing for real. So right now I get up, I work out early. Typically, I might have to go to my internship. Then after, I'll do some homework at a coffee shop, make some dinner when I get home. That's been the vibe for the past week and a half. Something along that line.
Yeah. And that's nice. I mean, you're young, you have your kids, and you got a husband. You can take that time and figure out, who you are outside the sport too.
Yes. Oh, that's all I'm going to talk
about. Right?
I love that.
Who are you outside of the sport? Who is you?
Like, what do I put my time to? What you give your time to most is what you care about most. I feel like because time is something you cannot get back at.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There you can. So you have been a student, not only of the game, but a very hardworking student in the classroom. I was too, but differently. Did things come easy to you, or did you have to work really, really hard to get to your A's?
Not going to. So growing up in elementary, middle school, and high school, it was fairly easy.
Okay.
I don't know. You turn in the work, you do what you do, you can get some A's.
Right.
At least that was the case for me.
Right.
College, no. I remember I failed a stats class. I almost failed my first class that I took my freshman year. Like, I don't know what it was, and I felt like I was doing work. It was just really wrong, So, I had to put in a lot more time in my academics.
Yeah. Did you adjust to that easily, or was that something you were just kind of like, I got to get it done anyway, so...
I think that's what it was. Like, I had to get it done anyways. So, like, just grind it out. I think it would have helped if I had a freshman, or that summer.
Yeah.
If we would have been able to go up there, but because of COVID, I think I would have been easier, but we didn't. So, kind of just jumped in the water.
Love that. So learning the skill of hard work on the court, how have you implemented that into your everyday life, just as a student?
I know how to get things done. Hey, because something's gonna get done. I'm going to put the hours in. I'm going to even that's learning like okay, doing it little by little. I feel like is what's helped me kind of translate that from on the court. Like I get 1% better every day on the court. Right. I can do 1% of this assignment every day over the course of it. So I'm trying to like cram it in, you know. So I would say that's the biggest thing I've learned. Yeah, I love that.
Now, what about those principles of hard work and discipline in your walk with God?
Oh, that's a question.
That's the question.
That's a question. When we talk about,
let's talk about it.
When we talk about discipline. Oh wow. Okay, discipline. Because even you're not gonna want to do it every day. Right. Like, I do my devotions every day. Right. Like obviously, I'm not gonna want to wake up. There's at one point I was waking up at 5 a.m. to do my devotions on the dot. I didn't want to do that every day, but you have to do it anyway. And then you talk about when you go through seasons of life, because not every season like you're bearing fruit. Like it's not like that every season. Like some season it is dry, and I feel like it's almost like it feels like God's not there, but He really is. But in those moments, like okay, I have to do this anyway. Like I have to do my devotion. I have to stay in tune with, in touch with God, no matter what. Have to keep my praying. Like that, I feel like is what when you talk about work ethic in your faith, like you're constantly working, even when you're not seeing things that you might have prayed for right away, stuff like that.
Literally, like it is a marathon, not a sprint.
It is a marathon.
Because, and I think the thing that keeps me going is I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back. So that one day that I'm like, I got to get on it because I remember what He pulled me out of. And I refuse to go back in that mind space. I refuse to go back in that. So my suffering looks different now, though. My suffering looks like suffering with God. And I can
you still suffer.
Right. You still
suffer.
I would rather suffer with Him than without Him.
Okay. Because I don't know nothing about that. I don't know.
There will always be those seasons, you know, of even pruning and isolation and loneliness and, you know, just feeling like you're, you know, not going very far.
Yes.
And you still got to wake up every single day and get on the knees.
And do it. Like, and you know, we talk about like praising Him when things are going good, but like, are you praising Him when things are going bad?
Right.
Like that is something that really clicked for me.
Because do you do it?
And do. I'm reading the book of Job right now, and let me tell you,
that's a humbling story. Very. Because I'm complaining about this and the other, and Job literally got scraped.
He lost it. Scraped away. Like. I'm just mad the girl didn't make my copyright this morning. His family just died. Like, what are we talking about here?
Like, his crops, his everything. Is that
everything?
Livelihood.
And his friends.
And he still decided to be faithful to God. Because I would have snapped. What's that? You know, God saves His toughest battles for them.
Yeah.
I didn't sign up for the war. I didn't sign up.
That was not in my work description.
I'm gonna do it.
Because I love Him.
Hello, and He loves us, you know, more than what we could ever possibly even imagine.
Yes, like oh my goodness, and He loves us so much. Like wow,
right,
yeah. There's a lot to that.
That is. So applying that hard work ethic into your sorority. So can we start there? How did you come, you know, to pick the sorority that you decided to pick?
Because the finer woman is the way to go. Like, okay. That and when I look at what they stand for, when I look at their mission statement, their principles, all of that, like I feel like that really aligns with me and who I am. And then when I was looking into the different chapters on the yard and stuff like that, I was like, okay, these girls who are in the chapter, like I feel like I really can mesh with them. Like they would talk to me, they would reach out to me, see how I'm doing my academics. They would come to my basketball games, like the whole night. They were just really open and they're really friendly girls.
I love that. I love that. When did you cross?
Spring 2023.
Got it. And how have you felt like your life is elevated since you've been with your sorority?
Ooh.
We're going off script.
No, you're good. Okay. You're good. No, this is good. Okay. Consideration for others, I think, has really grown because, yes, I've been a part of a team all my life. Don't get me wrong. But, like, in a sorority, like you're literally doing stuff that's bigger than yourself. Whether that be like for us, like going out to the Black community, like that means so much to me just as a person, like because I know like okay, people actually need help. People actually, like, and just being able to be that helping hand up close and personal really meant a lot to me and my line sisters at the time. So, not at the time. I'm so sorry. Cut that out. My line sisters really meant a lot to me and my line sisters.
Gotcha. And has it elevated you in just the leadership quality?
Okay. Yes. Yes, it has. As far as leadership, like taking the lead on like the event that we talked about earlier, that was new for me.
The Black Girls.
Yeah, the Black Girls Rock. I've never planned any type of event. I barely even planned my birthday. Like that was new, and all the nooks and crannies that went into that. But and then also bringing in a line and like teaching them was a humbling experience for me because you like you have to do what you're teaching, obviously, but making sure that they're on their P's and Q's and knowing that their mess ups like, oh, like, that's a reflection of you.
It is.
You know?
It is.
So, like,
that's why they're so stressed. It's like, get this done soon because your name is going to be on that ballot.
Your name?
So
it's going to be you.
Yeah.
So,
so you were, you had your sorority life, you had your basketball life, you had your school life. How were you able to juggle all three? Did you feel like there's burnout or overload or,
there is.
Because that is a whole different level of hard work. I literally did not pledge for that very reason. Like I heard my AKA teammates, learning steps at 2:00 in the morning and we can't wait till 4.
Yeah.
So I was like, there's no way. So how were you able to not overcome that, but how were you able to juggle all that?
Your time management skills have to be on point. And that's anything in life, but obviously when you have multiple things going on, and it's a lot of not asking for help. Like I had to learn how to ask for help. I had to learn how to lean on my line sisters. Like, okay, I can't get this done because I'm going to NIU. Like, can you please help me? Like that was something that I had to learn to do and like kind of let go of the reins on things as opposed to trying to like
do it all.
Yes, because I wasn't going to survive.
Right.
And then I would say also knowing that you can't, at least for me, it's hard for me to give my full 100% to so many things at one time.
Right.
Like,
boom.
I wanted to be good at all three. I wanted to be really good at academics, really good at basketball, and really, really good, a good soror. It's just things happen. Like, things fluctuate.
I was say, sometimes I can be good here and here, but this might suffer a little bit.
Boom.
And then I'll get that one up to par, and then that one's going to suffer a little bit. But,
That's exactly what it was. Like, there was a point in time where I was like, I really need to lock in on my academics and basketball. I'm not it's not even like I'm not there. It's not that I'm not there. I'm there, but like I feel like I could be doing more, but I just can't.
Right.
Or if I had a big event and then basketball, like my academics, unfortunately, like I would be rushing through things as opposed to like, taking my time. So like knowing that you cannot stretch yourself thin because that is what leads to burnout, and then while we're on that topic, like I needed my day of rest.
Exactly.
Sundays were for me.
Exactly.
And for nobody else. So making sure that you take that time for yourself so that you're not running yourself down.
I love that. I love that. Well, good for you, KK. Yeah, again, look, you better than me.
You could have, and honestly, it's a lot more than like, because the steps, the stroke, that's, first of all, I feel like I barely did that my knees. It was the event planning, the meeting.
But that's what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
If that's the least of my if that's the least of my worries, the real worries would have had to kick in. Oh, because like you said, the good here, the great here, and the okay here, that okay. Now I start putting. I was barely hanging all that thread.
I get it.
Literally.
I get it.
And I only did the 4 years.
Okay. Stop.
I did the 4 years. It was hard. It was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard. And people, that's why I hear a lot of people, like a lot of the non-athletes, like the classmates that I had.
Yeah.
What are you complaining about? You're getting a free education.
Do you know what my schedule looks like? Do you know I start this thing at 5 a.m. and
literally exhausted. And I was an energy person, so I always had to bring my energy.
Yeah.
I always had to go 100%. I was exhausted.
Yeah.
All of the time.
I'm not. It's
all of the time.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
But it was some of the best years of my life too. Like I built so much character.
Yeah.
All the lessons that you would learn. Yeah. You talk about those ups and downs. Like ups and downs are bound to come. Whatever
Yes.
whatever school you were going to or gonna go to, like there's gonna be ups and downs.
There's going to be.
But it makes the person too.
It does.
Oh,
You ain't never that.
okay, good. Okay, so let's talk about your growth. Let's talk about your growth. Okay, so Keka, how do you feel you have grown as a person due to the hard work ethic that you have cultivated?
I feel like I'm a more mature person. Knowing that adulthood comes with a lot of, like we said, up and downs, and knowing that it's not going to stop just because you're going through something. I feel like that because I used to be like, oh, my road's ending. I'm gonna go and lay in the bed and watch movies, and that's it. That's it for the day. One minor inconvenience. I'm done. For a little bit, yeah.
Why?
For a little bit. I flat tire. Oh, I'm laying down.
Why?
It's obviously God don't want me to be outside.
Hello.
Okay.
Can't.
But I feel like that's the biggest way I learned, like just persevering through things, like not giving up, like just keep staying the course and knowing that, while yes, the destination is great, but the journey is what it's
big facts.
all about.
That's when you grow the most, so that when you can't look back, you're like, "Hey, I used to be like that. I used to be like that." I think that's so important. I think people can be very stuck in their ways. It's like, this is just who I am. Yeah. There's always room for growth, baby.
Yes, always.
Always room for growth.
Always.
This is just who I no. There's literally always room for growth. Yeah. And if we're not striving to be better, then what are we? What are we doing? Now, I'm not saying you got to nitpick everything that I, break down every single flaw that I have. Right. It's just, this is the work that God has me working on in this point in this time right now. Yes. And I will get back to. Yes. I may not make it because I am literally perfect. Here you go. Okay. So now, as a, more mature person and a person who can just kind of roll with the punches here, do you have any tips for maintaining the focus and balancing, multiple responsibilities?
I would say, I told my niece, keep a planner, keep a calendar, keep something where you're actively like looking at what you have to do. So then that way, yes, you can see if you have something coming up, right? But you can like plan out before when to do it. Like, so say we had a road trip or something, but I had like also a big test or exam on the same day. We were getting that done before, so I didn't have to worry about it. Why are you smiling like that?
I was a person that was like,
no way.
I would do it like a couple days after. So like, say we had the road trip. Yeah. I had to let every teacher know beforehand, like what road trips, when we'd be back.
Like we have a travel letter type of thing.
Yes. Yeah. I would never do it the day before though. I would do it a couple days after. So we would get back on like a Tuesday. Instead of the test being on Wednesday, I would do it on Thursday or Friday.
And they let us slide for that?
Yeah. Open communication, baby.
Well, I think too, because do you have online classes and stuff?
Like a couple of semester.
See, the majority because of COVID, like that, like we have pretty much on a hybrid schedule for a while. Okay. So like they kind of see us like no excuse because they open it so early. Okay. So it's like, okay, how are you not?
Got it. No, and I can't remember. I guess we would have that flexibility to do so. We had study tapes on the road. Oh, girl. And we would do we would have to do, work or test in there at times. So, but in person, hey, Mrs. Smith. Hello. I know the test is on Wednesday, but do you think you can push that to next week for me?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. No.
So keeping a planner, super important.
Yes.
Staying on top, doing things, not procrastinating. Yes. In a sense. I think all really, really good qualities to have. Yes. Do you have any different approaches to like setting your priorities and just staying on track outside of like just the planner itself? So like maybe an accountability partner, maybe a classmate that you guys have really good communication with and things.
Definitely my classmates. They actually helped me through a lot because there's only 11 of us because we have a cohort. So I'll be going through the whole program with them. So we're all, I would say, not like close, but we're pretty close. Oh, okay. But it's like if I ever need anything, or like ever need help on notes or something, or like like a due date that I maybe missed or something, like they're always there to like help me through it. And then as far as priorities, like the first thing I think of, like I have to set my sights on God and let everything kind of else fall into place how it is. Like that's one thing, especially I think I'm learning now because I can set my schedule, like putting Him actively first all the time, like. That's gonna be big. Even when I was playing too, but like Yeah. And I think everything else, because he's orchestrating my life, it opens up like where I should go, like what direction I should do for them. Yeah. That's what I'm
Well, that's really all I have, KK. Thank you so much for being here on the Playmakers Blueprint. Do you have anything for the listeners or the pod, me, anything you want to leave us with?
Find stuff you're passionate about outside of your sport and watch your life take off. Yep. Mic drop. That's it.
I love that.
Like, honestly, though, like,
yeah. Why?
One, you'll meet different types of people outside of your sport. I feel like when you grow up as an athlete, you just hang around athletes. You just hang around. But there's so many different types of people out there, like
artists and
oh my goodness, like just amazing people. And then it helps you relax a little bit. Like you're not so uptight about basketball, and like you're not just doing that. Right. You're not like, I feel like that's unhealthy. Yeah, you know, like have a variety of different things you do. Learn new stuff, learn new hobbies. You know,
yeah. I love that. Yeah. Anything for me or the Playmakers Blueprint podcast?
First of all, girl, you doing it. Okay, you're doing it. I love how you're able to step out and do this. Because I know you said you were nervous, but you did it anyway. What are we talking about today? We do it anyway.
Do it messy.
Do it anyway. Like it'll come together, you know. But this, like the journey, is what's important. So keep doing you, girl.
And well. Well, thank you, Kegan, for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time. I know you got to go back to school in a couple days, so thank you for again carving out this time. I definitely want to get you on the pod. You're, you know, a young Black athlete,
favorite gospel. I know. Like,
I mean, you're not wrong.
It's hard carrying the weight of being like
not too much. Okay. No, but no, thank you for being here and just giving us our insight. I know you are younger than me by a good almost 10 years, but there are definitely some things I look up to you for and some advice. So thank you.
Yes, thank you for having me.
So thank you guys so much for tuning in to yet another episode of the Playmakers Blueprints. We are more than halfway through now of our first season. I know it's crazy because time is flying. But I hope you guys are enjoying it just as much as I am. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and repost. I mean, we would love to hear what you guys are thinking, your thoughts and things. So please join us in the next episode of the Playmakers Blueprint. Thank you for tuning in to the Playmakers Blueprint. You can catch me every Monday at 6 p.m. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Catch you next week.